Like, based on the suggestions in the course, which of
Uh,
the following is an activity you should do every day? It's about business planning on and real estate professionals. Create a neighborhood newsletter, follow up on leads, send out just listed, or write a blog post.
yes.
Follow up on leads.
I agree.
Yes, you should do all of those,
All
actually.
the above.
E, everything you need to do to be successful.
Write a newsletter every day, though.
You
That's
guys
a
are
lot
just,
of newsletters.
I know, right? Every day.
Every day. Hey, you might be writing a newsletter to different groups of people. It
That's
never said that.
that's true.
Hmm.
It's not like you're sending a general newsletter. This might be the newsletter for cat owners.
I'm going to send the DRE a letter. We
Don't tell
discussed
me
your
the things
question
I like, Dan.
on a nationwide call, and we agree that
Yeah. What was that, Christina?
Oh, I said, don't tempt me with things I like. A cat
Hey,
newsletter.
a
Stop it. I've
cat
already started
newsletter,
working on it.
the Daily Purr, right?
See? How are you not in marketing? I mean, technically, to some degree, you are, but
I'm very much so in marketing.
you come out with these zingers.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Daily Purr.
You guys want to see something really cool?
Give a cat. Is that a lanyard?
It's a mini one. It's a wristlet
Stop it.
with a super cool,
you got to get off Temu, bud.
huh?
You've got to get off Temu or Alibaba or wherever you're on.
We got 3 different colors.
Who gets those?
You've got 5,000 of them.
I ordered 300. I'm giving them for the car show that we're doing, the CDO car show that's coming up in March. We do swag bag gives away, and this is one of our giveaways. Is these really cool lanyard wristlets? They're like lanyards but smaller. I like them. I'm excited about them. I mean, for a giveaway for a swag item,
Like, yeah.
heck yeah, I'm all about it. It wasn't about a dollar a piece delivered, so I wanted to see their quality, and I'll probably reorder them for sure.
Where'd you get them from?
China. Alibaba.com. All right, enough shenanigans. It's Friday. I want to hear your wins. What do you got?
I've completed 42 of the 45 hours of my CE so far
That's impressive.
in 4 days.
I got another buyer.
There we go.
Yeah, my coworker Bradley, his barber is actually gonna buy a house. And he was telling him all about me, and he was like, his barber worked at the restaurant business and was like, "Your Buster's a real estate agent? Heck yeah, bro! I'll give him business." So I'm actually gonna talk to him today about that. So I'm super excited.
That's awesome, man. Business comes from the wildest of places, doesn't it? What else we got cooking?
I yes remained proactive yesterday. I have been on my seller's ass about clearing out the garage, and his version of clean and my version of clean are two different things. So I went there in the morning to make sure it was clean and it was not up to my standards. And I have a certain standard that I want to uphold to myself, to my clients, and I promised the buyer's agent that I would hand over the house a certain way. And I stayed for 2 hours and I cleaned that house. I had a broom myself, Highlander. I cleaned it. I could not hand the house over the way he had it. It was a divorce listing, and I'm like, I still want to divorce you. But it wasn't that much. It wasn't hard, but like I couldn't hand it over to the other people that way.
Did he leave a bunch of stuff in it, or like what was the deal with it?
Yeah, he left a bunch of stuff in there. Like I've been asking and asking and asking, and just I told the ex-wife too. She hasn't lived there in a while, and he kept saying it was her stuff. He kept saying it was his stuff. I know it's his stuff because it's a bunch of greasy man tools and junk. But like, I'm just gonna load up my car and just chuck it. So
Huck it in the bin. Huck it in the bin.
Yeah.
Well, Joanne, if you came into my garage, you would have discriminated because I'm the one with the greasy tools, okay?
Yeah, but I couldn't hand it over like that to
Yeah.
the buyer's agent. I'm like, 'cause I promised her it'd be clean enough, right? So
I was in a tournament yesterday, took first place.
Nice.
Yeah, and some people that were there, they said, I've been watching you. I know you're good. And then at the end, when we won, we played them. They offered me to come to their house and stay there whenever I'm out in Tucson. So
Where'd
that's
you play out here, Audra?
um it was the country club.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's my ticket out there when I, want to do something and I'm gonna introduce them to my business and real estate and try to work out there in Tucson as well. So that's my win.
Some big wins, some good stuff. Audra also signed up for Better Up yesterday. She's going to join us in Phoenix and the Scottsdale for the
Yeah.
next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, for some pretty amazing stuff.
Whoop, whoop.
I know Christina's going. I'm going. Ty has to get his mom to go. Stephanie's going. I think Stephanie and Christina were like some of the earliest registrations. Not saying that I have the list of all the registrations and it happens to be in chronological order. Oh, Christina, you were number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, of the first 5 people that registered, 3 of them are being moved out. So, Christina, technically, you're the second person.
Being moved out. What do you mean?
Yeah, I got
Canceled,
it.
refunded, or putting in a different name.
Oh, lame.
So, it's all good. So, a couple hundred people are going to be joining us at the event. It's going to be fantastic. Currently, we're sitting just under our goal.
Excited.
So,
Yeah, I'm trying to get my brother still to come out, Dan. He didn't tell me directly. I gave him a deadline of yesterday to tell me if he could make it or not. And he didn't respond, which is his way of saying, I can't make it. But I might just force his hand and buy him a plane ticket. And I'll be like, okay, well, I'll be at the airport waiting for you. I'll just massive guilt trip him.
they should. I mean, I honestly believe this is one of those things you're going to miss out on. I don't get FOMO very easily. And I know Christina does. We talked about this the other day. She struggles with it. Show of hands, do you guys get FOMO? And if you don't know what FOMO is, fear of missing out, right? It's that, oh man, I really want to be there. I miss it. I don't want to miss it. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to hate myself for not going. I had a lot of FOMO growing up, and it's actually what kept me from enlisting in the military. Because all of my friends were going off and partying and doing fun stuff, and I was supposed to go in the Air Force, and I'm like, I'm gonna miss living the life, the college life. Can I tell you what I didn't do? I didn't do the college thing. I did community college. It took me 6 years to get a 2-year degree, if it tells you anything. Not that I'm not intelligent, but I'm not focused on my education. I was working, I was selling things, I was building a business, I was running a trailer park. It was all kinds of crazy stuff. So my fear of missing out pushed me into a world of work. And I learned that go to the things that matter, show up to the things that matter. We've talked about intention. We've talked about our game plan. We've talked about a lot of things the last couple of days that line up with the big plan you have. In December, we talked about having a growth plan. You guys remember that? What's a growth plan? Serena, you weren't here. It's okay. It's new. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Dan. It's okay. You're not alone. Other people weren't listening either. You weren't listening because you weren't here, but that's okay. I'll give you the excuse. A growth plan is the events, the trainings, the certificates, the things that you want to accomplish this year. Like Jim, his growth plan is to continue doing his CE. He's got 45 hours to do, and he's got 3 hours left. Probably by the end of today, he'll be done. Something as simple as that is on your growth plan. Do you guys like to wait to the very last minute to knock out your continuing education? 45 hours is a long time to be in front of a computer. So sitting there and doing nothing but CE for a week and a half, that's a lot. But if it was on your growth plan and every month you knock out 1, 2 classes, You know, what's one class? 3 hours? So let's say you're doing a class a month for the year. That's 36 hours you've knocked out just through the normal cadence of doing business because it's on your growth plan. We create vision boards, we create goal sets, we create these economic models that show us what we want to earn, what we want to do, what we want to accomplish. But we forget to do the growth plan stuff. These are the classes, the events, the conferences, the travel that we want to take part in so that we can put it on the calendar, we can schedule around it, and we can lead generate to fuel that opportunity. What if there's this luxury symposium in Boston come the end of the year? It's $1,000 a ticket plus $1,000 in airfare and $1,000 of hotels and $1,000 for travel expenses while you're there. $4,000, right? It seems like a lot of money, but it's not until November. I don't know why you'd go to Boston in November, but this is just hypothetical. How many months away is November? This math show. 10. 10. I know. I'm asking you guys to do math. I promise you real estate didn't have math in it, but it does a little bit. So 10 months away, and it's going to cost you $400 a month to put aside for your learning plan to go to this luxury symposium in Boston in November. Which one's easier to swallow? $4,000 pill right now? Oh, I don't have $4,000. Or you think about it a couple of months before, you're like, I'm planning to go to this event at this time, at this place, and this is what it's going to cost me to get there. Now it's eating the elephant a bite at a time. Oftentimes I hear that I don't have the money, I don't have the time, right? I just don't have the time right now. Okay, what else are you doing? Not that I'm saying you all should go to the Better Up class next week. I'm sad for those who can't make it. I genuinely am. There's still time to go if you can move some things around, but it's $200 for the ticket plus a night in a hotel, and if you're not in the area, the travel expense. But if you were thinking about going to Better Up 6 months ago, could you not have set it up on your business plan, on your goal, your vision board, your growth plan, where you set aside the time already? Because some of you have other jobs, JOBs, just over brokes, where you have to ask for time off. Not that it's a bad thing, right? I lived that life. But how far in advance does your employer like to know when you're going to need time off? 2 weeks, 6 months, or in my wife's case, a year. They gave her hell for taking time off without telling them a year ahead. She goes, I'm sorry, I didn't know that my kid was going to get sick a year from now. But if we have these intentions on the growth plan where we want to go to a conference, we want to go to family reunion, we want to go to mega camp, we want to do a mastermind session, we want to do something that's going to put us in front of other agents in other markets and potentially earn real estate referral partners. That's the whole point of these conventions. The whole point of these things is to learn something and to meet people. It's a whole lot easier for you guys to set up a plan a year in advance, 6 months in advance, hell, 3 months in advance than it is 2 weeks in advance. I mean, let's look specifically Better Up. How long have I been talking about it?
Like
2 or 3 months?
Yeah.
As soon as I heard about it. I'm not the fifth person that registered, Christina. However, I am one of the first people that knew about it. And at the time, I was getting my life together. I was figuring out if I could even go. Because Jess and I were going through some crazy stuff with the kids and scheduling and time, and we didn't know that there was a week availability for us for 2 days in January to go. Until I said, you know what? I'm going to go. We're going to figure it out. Whatever it takes. I think it's a 2-day event. It's going to be worth it. It's just in our backyard. Well, then come up last week, Kristen comes to me and says, you know what? I think this would be a good place for your wife to join you. I don't know if you've ever tried to find babysitters for 5 kids overnight that aren't related. It's impossible. And any of you know a 72-year-old woman that has everything that she wants and you can't bribe her? That's my mother-in-law. But we found something that she absolutely wanted, and I promised to get it for her if she watches the kids for one night. Beg, borrow, and steal. I'm bringing my wife with me. Because part of my growth plan this year that I talked to my wife about is to get her more in alignment with what I'm doing. Raise your hand if you got a spouse in the house. Could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, doesn't matter what the relationship is. Is life easier when you're both walking the same direction? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's something you can think about is on your growth plan. How do you involve the people you love? How many of you could have a better existence if the people that you loved spent as much time on self-development as you do? Ah, I saw some ahas there. Gracie's going to go yell at her boyfriend right now. You need to be on this call at 8 o'clock every single morning. Well, it's 7 o'clock for you guys, right? I'm sorry that California doesn't follow the law of no changing your clocks.
Not my, I mean, kind of my boyfriend, but just like my friends in general too. Like that's something I kind of have struggled with, which like I understand everybody's different and I love all my friends and stuff, but even my sister too and my family is just like they always tell me they're like, Gracie, you can't push people to be like you and like hustle and driven. Like not everybody wants that lifestyle. Like you can't expect other people to want that. Some people just want to live like a peaceful, chill life and not have like all these goals and like work towards something. I'm like, what? Like that sounds so depressing.
It
Gracie,
does.
we were just talking about this, me and Dan.
Yeah. Go into more depth on it, Christina. And like I said, if you're going to share, please have your camera on so you can be a part of it.
I'm putting my other eyebrow on. Listen, people, okay? Just give me like 2 minutes. The whole process.
She's just in the bathroom. She's all,
That's 100%. If you literally, I swear to God, that's exactly what I just look like.
I got to say, kind of how it looks.
We we were just talking about this because I'm a very social person and I get out and try to interact with, lots of different people. And I've been running into this lately too, that it's almost like this feeling of guilt that I carry around because, it's like I don't just work 9 to 5 and when I go home, work stops and I set it down and my life is different, and I need to, maybe I can't participate in something because, oh, I've got to go write this, I got to get this document out tonight or whatever, just exactly what you're saying. And so that's been a struggle for me to learn how, like Dan was saying, I do have FOMO, to say no to people, from a space of love, but out of respect for protecting the times and the things in my schedule that get me further down the line. And if that doesn't work for other people, then that just has to be okay.
Yeah, and I think everybody around me understands that now and knows that about me. But it's more so like the other week, my friends and I planned to make vision boards. And so I was super excited about it. And I went in full depth for like all my goals. I made this like huge list of yearly goals, monthly goals, and then weekly goals of what I want. And then I also got all my stuff for the vision board. And then all my friends and I got together. And I was like, okay, like let's start making the vision boards because everybody was making drinks and stuff, which is fine. I'm like, I'm down to drink while we're doing it. But then they're like, girls' night. And then we ended up not doing it. And I was so pissed off because I was like, nobody was taking it seriously. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, what was the point of getting all this stuff if you guys weren't going to do it with me? Because I'd rather do it with people who also are like wanting to work towards a goal, not just think it's something silly. Because they weren't taking it seriously. They were printing out like funny little memes and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I ended up not doing it with them because I was like, you guys are gonna ruin my vibe.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I will gladly do vision boards with people. I'll sit down and I'll mastermind around things and I'll create all kinds of vision for the future because we're trying to build the right people around us. But you're right. In the moment, if they're going to change the way that you're thinking about doing something, or they're just going to not put the energy into it that needs to be there, remember, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Mm-hmm.
And to that credit, you're right. You can't push people to go and do more, be more, want more, hustle more, to be like you. But you need to sit back and go, is this the type of people I want to hang out with? Are these the type of people I want to associate with? There's a place and a time for all of it. It's fantastic. We talked about this on, was it Monday? Wednesday. Wednesday. We talked about the higher you get up on the mountain, what happens to your friends? The higher the ladder, the smaller the circle. One, because I don't know if you guys have ever been to the top of a mountain. Is there more space on the top of a mountain than there is at the bottom? No.
Okay.
As you go up, the space gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So think about that. They say it's lonely at the top because there's one spot at the top. And as you get there, people are going to fall off and they're going to filter down because I've had friends for decades, 20, 30 years, friends since high school that I still consider my best friends. I haven't talked to in a year. I got nothing to talk to them about. How's the kid? That's it. We can't talk about work. We can't talk about life. We can't talk about investments. We can't talk about the things that I want to talk about because I'm done talking about the bullshit they're talking about. I love my best friends to death. They're my brothers. They're the reason I became who I am. But they couldn't climb the ladder with me.
Dude, that was such a light bulb moment. I'm dealing with the exact same thing.
There's one friend I can talk to about this stuff. And he's actually a recently new friend. I met him a couple years ago. I knew him for 6 months and I was in his wedding. That's how fast we became friends because him and I talk about investments, businesses, opportunities. We're not talking about getting drunk and going to the bar and partying and doing things that are fun like that. You know what's fun to me? Deposits, emails. Hey, you just got a Zelle payment. Zinger. Like I'm on it, man. But you're right. You can't push people along. But they're sure as hell going to hold on to you hoping to get pulled along. They're gonna ask you to do stuff. They're gonna ask you to take them places. They're gonna ask you to go to breakfast and lunch and forget their wallet. And I said this on Wednesday and I'll say it again today because it goes very much in alignment here. Some people aren't your friends because of who you are. They're your friends because of what you can provide. I remember young in my life, I was in my early mid 20s. Yeah, 25, 28 in that range, almost 30. I'd go to the bar and I was the guy that buy drinks for people. I would be getting a round of Jaeger bombs and all of a sudden I'm ordering 20 of them at once. Because I'm like, hey, you, come here. We're taking shots. Because that's just who I was. I would spend $600, $700, $800 a night at the bar just because I had it. But I'm that guy. I like to give to people. I like to provide. I like to have a good time. And if I'm having a good time, you're having a good time. People were like, hey, let's go to get some sushi. Well, I don't have money. I didn't ask you if you had money. Let's go. I'm buying. Let's go. And then I got to a point in my life where I'm like, I started counting my money better because I had something to do with it. I had a goal in mind. It started to matter, so I started to measure it. And then I realized I was spending money hand over fist in the dumbest environments. When I was a sales director for Dodge, I would just send the guys down the street to go get us lunch, bring it back to the store, not thinking about it. And I got one of those apps that like tells you how much money you're spending, like Rocket Mortgage or something like that. It tells me how much money you're spending at different things. Can anyone guess how much money I spent a month at Taco Bell?
I know how much money I spent of CarMax's money at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. I spent $900 a month at
What?
Taco Bell.
That's about what I did at Chick-fil-A.
My God.
But here's the thing. I was hungry, so I would just send one of my guys to Taco Bell to get lunch for all of us. So I started pulling back. I stopped going to the bar. I stopped hanging out with those people. Do you think any of them call and check on me? Do you think any of those people say, hey, man, I know your anniversary's right around the corner. Happy anniversary, man. Do you think any of them call up and say, dude, you're killing it in real estate. How is life? Or do you think they call me and ask, you know where I can get a cheap rental? Can you help me out with some money?
Yeah.
You're right. You absolutely cannot push people to do more. Can you expect them to do more? Hell yeah. If you're going to be part of my inner circle, I demand more from you. And I can do that.
I was going to say something worth sharing that kind of I've discovered this year that has helped me make decisions like this is, I feel like in the past I would try to control a lot, whether it's family or my boyfriend or my friends or whatever, because I upheld this standard and this expectation of, I guess, the people that were around me. And then instead of that, I started listening to the Mel Robbins podcast a lot. And so she talks a lot about the let them theory and just letting them. And my life has been so stress free since I started doing that and just really letting people do what they need to do and seeing how they act and, seeing their true colors instead of trying to change them. And then you can make your decision from there. And she just came out with a book that's called the Let Them Theory.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All about it.
Some of us
that
are
too.
smiling grace because we're all on it.
It's been helpful to me because I'm at the top of the mountain, and I kind of created a little island for myself, and she kind of goes into that, bringing people back in, I guess, because I did kind of create that isolation for myself by pushing people away. And I'm on the chapters where I need to bring people back in and to fill that void with
The right people.
the right people.
Well, and I think there's a balance in everything. There's plenty of friends that I have that are not motivated like me, don't hustle like me. They want a different life. They want the simple life. And that's completely fine. That doesn't mean I need to, say, hey, I don't want to be friends anymore because you're not like that. You just, I think, need to understand your friendship and their place. They could support you from afar. They don't have to be at the same exact level as you.
Right.
So you don't necessarily need to push people away because they're not, they don't have the same mindset and goals as you do. I think it just depends on if those people are bringing you down specifically.
Yeah, don't actively push people away. Be more selective with who you give your time to. Remember that everybody deserves your time, but not everybody deserves it equally. I get 30 minutes with you in the morning and we maximize the shit out of that. If you want to go around and take that 30 minutes and share it with 600 other people, fantastic. If you don't, fantastic. But I can tell you, you'll find the right people when you start saying more about the things that you want to do and asking who, not how. You will find the right people. Go ahead, Stephanie. Last thought before we go.
I want to just say to Joanne that I'm so impressed by what she's accomplished. And I would love to hear her say that I am at the top of the mountain with her looking at us and her shoulders back and really owning it because, girl, it's amazing. It's amazing what you're doing. And
I agree, Stephanie.
I agree too.
be really proud. You're amazing.
Thank you.
You guys are all amazing in your own stripes. And that's what I love about it is where you want to go in life, what you want to do in life is only halted by what you're willing to do, what you're willing to sacrifice for. I am super proud of all of you. I'm super excited to see you guys on the calls in and out every day, regularly, because consistency is key in this business, not just in real estate, but in life. Show up and do the things that matter. Show up and do the things that matter. The most successful people do boring better. Remember that. And sometimes it's just the boringness of going through life, figuring out who you can and can't trust, who you can and can't talk to. There's a lot of great lessons to be learned about people and friendships and partnerships and relationships. But remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that could be corporally, like here in person. It could be mentally, the people you listen to, read to, watch. So be careful. If your circle of friends is not pushing you to do more, it is not a circle. That is a jail cell. So, my friends, thank you for all. I will see you bright and squirrely on Monday morning. Until then, have a fantastic weekend. Did you learn something today?